Well, since Donald Trump has gone over the top and said he would ban all Muslims from the country, including Muslim Americans who went abroad and wanted to come back, tourists, even possibly Muslim American veterans, people have logically called him out on it, including the Philadelphia Daily News. Let's take a look at their cover there. They got him putting his right hand up. He's nice and sweaty. And they say, the new Fuhrer. So, most clearly calling him a fascist. So how does he respond to that? Well, he's going to go on Stephanopoulos. Stephanopoulos is going to ask him about this. Let's see how it goes.
Are we talking the final solution to the Muslim question? I feel like I'm back in the 30s. You're increasingly being compared to Hitler. Does that give you any pause at all?
No, because what I'm doing is no different than what FDR's solution for Germans, Italians, Japanese, many years ago.
So you're for internment camps?
This is a president who was highly respected by all. He did the same thing. If you look at what he was doing, it was far worse. I mean, he was talking about the Germans because we're at war. We are now at war. We have a president that doesn't want to say that, but we are now at war.
I've got to press you on that, sir. So you're praising FDR there. I take it you're praising the setting up of internment camps for Japanese during World War II?
No, I'm not. Take a look at presidential proclamations 25-25, 25-26, and 25-27, having to do with alien Germans, alien Italians, alien Japanese. I mean, what they did. They stripped them of their naturalization proceedings. They went through a whole list of things. They couldn't go 5 miles from their homes. They weren't allowed to use radios, flashlights. I mean, take a look at what FDR did many years ago. And he's one of the most highly respected presidents respected by most people. They named highways after him.
You want to bring back policies like that?
No, I don't want to bring it back, George, at all. I don't like doing it at all. It's a temporary measure until our representatives, many of whom are grossly incompetent, until our representatives can figure out what's going on.
Classic Trump at the end. I don't want to do it, but I just had to. I had to do these heinous things. You know that FDR was not praised because of the things that you're talking about that were against Italians, Germans, and Japanese Americans here in the U.S. That was a black mark against him and against the whole country. He was praised for the other great things that he did, despite the fact that he did those horrible things. And you asked for people to look up what those proclamations were. We did. It meant that Italians, Germans, or Japanese, even if they were U.S. citizens in the time of World War II, could be apprehended, restrained, secured, and removed at any time. We don't look back at that like, oh, the good old days. We look back at that like, oh my God, what did we stoop to? We should have never done that. And of course, interestingly enough, the Germans and Italians didn't get internment camps, but the Japanese did. So when asked about internment camps there, he gave kind of a vague answer to Stephanopoulos. I don't want to do it, but I mean, for a time being, what are we going to do, right? Then Time Magazine asked him about it, and he said, I would had to be there at the time to tell you, to give you a proper answer, saying at the time in World War II. I certainly hate the concept of it, but I would have had to be there at the time to give you a proper answer. In other words, kind of open to it. Internment camps, they're back. This guy, man. I mean, I was the first, I think among the first in the media to call him out for the fascist that he was. And we did that in the context of his crowds first beating up a Latino guy in one of his rallies, and then a black guy at one of his rallies. Nobody ever got arrested for that. And one time they were chanting USA, USA, as they pummeled this Latino guy. Another time they were chanting All Lives Matter as they were kicking the crap out of a black guy, not understanding the irony of it. And he encourages it. He says, oh, my fans, they're a little enthusiastic. And in terms of now activating his fans to go out and start looking into Muslims, he did that just now again in South Carolina. Listen.
We have to be strong. When we see violations, you have to report those violations, and quickly. You don't worry about profiling. I promise I will defend you from profiling. I promise.
In other words, get your brown shirts on, go profile the Muslims, and you won't get prosecuted. There won't be any consequences. I'll protect you from that. This guy is super dangerous. He has more than earned the title of fascist. And let's see if it sticks. But for the moment being, the leader among the Republicans. So now, after you know all this, if he still leads in a couple of weeks, well, then you know what your Republican base is all about. It's one thing to have a guy like this. There's many guys like this in the country. There's over 300 million people in the country. Are there some lunatic fascists in the country? Absolutely. I think some neo-Nazi party today endorsed him. Okay, that's not the point. The point is, does a significant portion of one of the major parties in this country think that's kind of awesome? If they do, and so far they have, that is incredibly scary. It was evident to us from the beginning. It is now evident to everybody. And after all this, if the Republican base still sticks with him, oh boy, then you know what's happened to the Republican Party.